So Juliet writes, I am not sure if this is the right email address for the success stories. I do hope that this gets to you and that you will read it out. This is another success story from Nairobi, Kenya. And I was delighted to listen to your story number 43 from Ida in Kenya. When I first stumbled upon the success stories, I was in awe and I wondered when I would have a chance to tell mine. A part of me doubted that I'll have that opportunity. Thank God for Agnes and the meditations, and I knew it was up to me to have a success story or not. I am here with my success story. I got married at 24 to my university boyfriend. We had 3 children, and it has been 5 years since we separated and divorced. After that, I never got into any relationship at all for 4 years. Then at one point, I had a fling with someone, but he made it clear that he cannot commit due to some personal and family issues that he was dealing with. In May of 2018, I became very intentional about dating. I had joined an online dating platform in February of 2018, and I was wishy-washy about it. It had been a joint effort of my friends. Jay, they even set up my profile for me. I had gone on several blind dates, and I liked one guy in particular, though he wasn't ready for a relationship. I was getting tired of this relationship thing, and I was wondering, why am I not attracting the person that I want? I became a bit resigned and cynical about it. One Saturday morning in August, I listened to Louise Hay. Excuse me. Just need a little drink. Yes, it is water. Okay, so in Saturday morning in August, I listened to Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, audio book. Bang! It hit me. I didn't believe that I am worthy of love. I started doing love affirmations daily. Then on the 1st of September, it was a Saturday night, and I thought about the partner that I wanted, and I also went to the online platform and edited my profile. I authentically wrote about myself and what I wanted from a man. The next day, Sunday morning, I switched on my data at around 11 a.m. and I had received so many messages from that platform. This particular guy was so excited that he wanted to meet me the same day. We met, and this turned out to be my specific person. He said that he knows what he was looking for, and he had found it. That evening after our first date, he closed his profile on the dating app. He was serious about me. He was all I ever wanted in a man. It was amazing, and I kept wondering when he would drop the balls. What if he was pretending? This is too good to be true. I now see how I started tearing this down. I kept asking him why he wants to be with me and what he wants from me. He said he loves me and wants nothing from me. At one point he said that he's tired of answering that question. 2 months into the relationship, he started retreating and being out of character. Eventually he told me that he told his parents about me and that they were opposed to it because I have 3 kids, and now he has to choose between his family and me. A few days later, he sent me a text saying he had to let go of me. I was devastated. My heart ached. I couldn't sleep or eat, and this made me more furious. I was mad at myself for trusting and believing him. We met up twice after the breakup, and that kind of gave me hope that then he stopped answering my calls and responding to my messages. I tried to reason this out with him, but he was adamant, and he said it's over and it will never be. I listened to many YouTube channels, read books, cried, talked to friends and family, but still felt there was something missing. I tried the 30 days of no contact, and I failed miserably. I called upon the archangels and other spiritual guides, teachers, and I believe they led me to Agnes. She popped up in my YouTube homepage, and I decided to listen to her. Listening to you quieted my being, and I felt at ease. I still had my doubts, and when I saw that how to manifest a text video, I was like, you are now pushing it, Agnes. Is that even possible? Nevertheless, I did it, and I even forgot about it. Then it happened when I least expected it, and I was reminded that I had caused that. I was euphoric. It was darn simple, and it had worked. I had also done the Manifest Your Ex Back meditation, and now I was being anxious about the results. I told the universe that I'd stick to its timetable. In this space, I realized how impatient I am, and I started working on that. I did the How to Get Your Ex Back meditation and did many meditations and affirmations. I also listened to Neville Goddard, Abraham Hicks, Wayne Dyer, Florence Scovel Shinn, Louise Hay often, and really worked on my imagination and the practice of living in the end. I would do the practice every night before going to bed. These practices and also listening to the success stories and yes reads and the meditations kept me sane during this period. I started loving myself and taking care of myself. It was amazing, and the people around me would comment on how I have this glow around me, and they said I must be totally in love. Yes, I was in love with me. I took myself out for a movie, ice cream, started paying attention to my dress, and just loving myself. After the first text, my specific person and I texted occasionally, just checking up on each other. I learned to wait for the inner prompt to text. I did not want to get over myself and send 1,000,001 texts. All my texts during this period were inspired. It was an amazing time, and I learned to yield to the flow of the universe. During this period, he shared that he had been unwell and basically couldn't even cook. I asked him why he didn't call his sister to assist him, to which he responded that his sister was out of town. I asked about him getting help from his friends, and at this moment I was inspired to ask him, what about asking help from me? He said he had wanted to ask he also, forget that, start again. He said he had wanted to ask me, but he thought I was out of town. Again, I was inspired to let him know that I am back and that he shouldn't suffer in silence. He thanked me for that, and a few minutes later he asked me what my plans for the day were. I wasn't available as I had planned to go to the salon as part of loving myself. I was tempted to cancel the salon plans because I knew his question meant he wanted to hang out. I am my first best and I love myself, so I'll go take care of myself first. I usually do it yourself my hair, but I decided that I will be going to the salon once a month. I had almost talked myself out of this because of money concerns, and I had finally made up my mind about going to the hairdresser. So here I was about to cancel because of my specific person. I told him I'm not available. I had to go to the salon. I asked him if he required anything. He said he just wanted me to keep him company, but it's okay if I'm not available. I was inspired to ask him if we could hang out the next day. He gave a resounding yes. He said that I'll let him know when I'll be available. He said, let him know when I'll be available. Now I got why it has been so impressed in me to go to the salon and get some grooming. I had a date. I also remembered in one of the success stories, must have been number 2, where the lady talks about preparing herself and looking good. Everything worked out seamlessly for me. This was on a Tuesday. Come Wednesday morning, the long-awaited day is finally here. I text him at around 8:30 a.m. saying I can meet him at noon. He takes a while to respond, and I assume he's probably still asleep. He eventually calls me. I'm surprised because he had stopped calling me and answering my calls. He tells me that there was a crisis at work and he had to go to work. He says that he will keep me posted and hopefully we can meet once he leaves the office. I agree. But deep inside I felt jilted. I'm like, universe, really? I'm still anxious and a bit on edge. I calm myself down and listen to the success stories. They usually have a way of calming me down. I trust that it will happen when it's meant to happen. He actually said that we touch base at 1 p.m. to see where he's at in terms of work. I told him to wait, and I did not call or text him. It's 1 o'clock and I don't hear from him. I carry on with my work, and a few minutes to 2 o'clock he calls me. I'm impressed. He tells me he's making good progress, and he tells me he'll be leaving in an hour's time and we can meet up. I carry on with my work and I get carried away and I'm jostled back to reality when he calls to let me know that he's leaving the office. I say I'm still at home, then he is like, take an Uber, I'll pay for it. When I get to his house, it's a bit odd. He gives me a gentle hug and he asks me to sit. It's general catch up. 3 hours later, I tell him that it's getting late and I need to head home. He brings up the breakup and how it's been difficult for him to get me off his mind. He mentioned that when we broke up, that's when he realized how much he loved me and what I meant to him. He said that he had been unsure of my love for him, and during those periods he realized that I did actually love him. He mentioned that he had been stalking me on social media. He knows without a doubt that I'm the best woman he has ever dated. During one of my meditations and my journaling, my prayer for him was to stop living his life for people, but to live for himself. He said, I realize my life is mine and I cannot live it for other people, not even my parents. He said everything I had wanted to hear from him, and he said that his wish is that we put the past behind and start afresh. I did not give an immediate response and we carried on with the conversation. When I mentioned again that I needed to go home, he said, what about my wish? And I said that I am willing to put the past behind and start afresh. He smiled and said, thank you. We enjoyed cooking together, and soon after he said, let us go fix something to eat. You are not going anywhere. In the kitchen, he drew me close to him and he kissed me. He went on and on about how he'd miss me and that he is glad he finally mustered the courage to reach out. Thank you, Agnes. I feel your love. Thank you for making this walk bearable, enjoyable, and fun. I love you, Agnes, and also to the beautiful souls who shared their success stories. Much love. These stories lifted my dampened spirit, gave me hope and patience. Self-love and I am first best are lessons I hold on to dearly. I was inspired to journal my experience during this period, and looking back has been a spectacular journey, one of the best times of my life. This has been my first intentional and successful practice of the law of attraction. Best regards, Juliet. Oh, that is beautiful. Juliet, thank you so much for writing that. It's very heartfelt, and you didn't push against it. You didn't try and beg or convince or make it happen. And as hard as that was, you worked on you. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I will put the playlist of the success stories, ex-back ones, and also I just want to say to you that it is, as we know, working on the self-love, working on the self, working on the self, working on the self. And there's a couple of YouTubes that I want to put down below to help you. One is called There Is Nothing Wrong With You, and another one is called Why Isn't This Working? Okay, I know a lot of you are struggling along this journey, and it is at times extremely difficult to hold the faith and to, just work on you. So I'm going to put those down below, and also another one called Not Feeling Whole and Complete Within, and another one called How You Hold Yourself Apart from Someone. Okay?